Today, the King of Rio, Jose Aldo, makes his return as he defeats Jonathan Martinez. Also, what about Alexandre Pantoja? Who did you have after the fifth round ended? Also, what about Michelle Pereira, who went out there and did Michelle Pereira things, backflip and all? All of this and more on today's episode of Matter of Fact MMA. What's up? What's happening? Let's go. What's up, guys? We right back at it. We right back with it. It's your boy Matt bringing you the news, bringing you the reactions of UFC 301 that went down in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where in the main event, Alexandre Pantoja wins and defends his 125-pound championship against Steven Erceg via decision. So, in this fight, man, this fight was interesting in this sense. Steven Erceg did his thing. Steven Erceg went out there and he did his thing. However, I feel that Alexandre Pantoja won the fight, so I'm not going to say that Erceg won it all, but Steve had a great showing for himself. He went out there, he did his thing. Of course, he took the L in the first round. He started to creep back in the second round. He definitely took, I would say, the third, maybe the fourth, but I believe Alexandre Pantoja in the fifth did enough to secure the victory. With that being said, man, Pantoja, what I noticed in this fight from Saturday, this man pushes his body to uncomfortable levels. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was getting a little cringe watching Pantoja in the sense of when he would go back to the corner and sit on the stool, homie was donezo. And even John Anik remarked that it looked like he was about to vomit in between rounds. Like, you can just tell that Pantoja pushes himself beyond what his body is able to withstand. You know what I'm saying? The man's will is so powerful that he pushes himself beyond what his body is willing to deal with. Like, his body is redlining. His body's like, sir, we don't have anything left, okay? Can we just, look, can you just, I don't know, can you cinch up a choke? Because we ain't got nothing left. We can't keep going. But homie, he keeps pushing himself. Also, there was a point in the fight, as everyone, if you saw the fight, you know. There was a point in the fight where Steven Erceg caught Alexandre Pantoja with a devastating elbow. Devastating. Now, for me, this was a devastating blow in this sense. Of course, it opened up the cut on Pantoja's head, and this posed problems. But in my opinion, I think that blow possibly concussed Pantoja. Now, hear me out. The reason why I say that, and I know it's probably not far-fetched, concussed in a fist fight, but I believe that blow itself really did a number on Pantoja, because after he took that elbow, he wasn't quite the same for the rest of the fight. Also, after he took that elbow, he instantly started grabbing his forehead, right? And commentary even remarked on that. But I don't think he was grabbing his forehead based out of the cut per se. I mean, I think he was definitely checking to see where the blood was coming from. But I believe homie was in an instant, like that was instant pain for him. Most of the time when fighters instantly start reaching for an area of their body that just got damaged, it's instant pain. Okay? There's a lot of things, if you watch like a lot of interviews and things with fighters, there's a lot of damage they receive in the octagon that they don't feel until the instant that the fight is over. They have that adrenaline dump, and now all the pain comes into their body. All their pain receptors is getting active, and they start feeling everything, right? Or immediately once they leave the octagon, they get in the back, that's when the pain starts setting in. Fighters have a tremendous pain threshold, but a lot of the pain is kind of dulled because they're in the middle of a fist fight. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got time to be feeling the pain. I don't have time to bleed. Shout out to Predator. Nevertheless, bro, from what I saw, after he took that blow, when he went back to the stool in between rounds, that was when he looked like, as John Anik said, like he was going to throw up. Like he looked like he was barely still in it, in a sense. He wasn't, I wouldn't say he was out of it, but the way he sat on the stool, and he was extremely uncomfortable in the sense like, it almost looked like Pantoja didn't know if he wanted to stand up, if he wanted to sit on the stool, if he wanted to lay on the ground. And I think there was a lot going on after he took that elbow. And then he took the following round off where he didn't really seem to do a lot. But I don't know. Just very, very, very interested. Fifth round, Pantoja definitely did his thing. Steven Erceg basically probably cost himself the fight by shooting for a takedown. And Pantoja is just too good at scrambles. He's too good at scrambling and coming out in an advantageous position. So, shout out to Alexandre Pantoja, who did his thing. I also believe when I said he was concussed, you could tell by his post-fight interview, Pantoja didn't really seem to be all the way there. Generally, Pantoja's fairly calm in his post-fight interviews, fairly collected, different things like that. But this Pantoja, he was all over the place. He was telling the Brazilian fans not to leave the arena. It was just really strange. But nevertheless, shout out to Pantoja, Mini-Man himself. He goes out there, he gets the win. Now let's move over to the true main event of this card. Also, we're not going to be going through all the fights on this card because it wasn't the best pay-per-view, let's be honest. Had some pretty good finishes at times, but the end of the day, this was the Jose Aldo show. This was the card that Jose Aldo built, all right? So let's get down to it. Jose Aldo goes out there and defeats Jonathan Martinez in a 3-round decision. Golf clap. This was outstanding to see. For one, Jose Aldo comes out there wearing the crown. Shout out to Endeavor. Shout out to TKO. Because I honestly believe what we're going to be seeing in the next few years is a lot more of extra gimmicks, so to speak. Crowns, masks, guys coming out, maybe got more people doing Adesanya type dances, Michelle Pereira type dances. I think you're going to see a lot more pageantry now that the UFC is partially owned, or now that they've merged and created TKO, and they've merged along with WWE. I feel that you're going to see a lot of things that the UFC does. You're going to see that in WWE. I can already see a little bit of that because I watched WWE with my son. And there's different things like before the wrestlers have a match, they show them walking into the building and everything, which is true UFC fashion, and vice versa. I don't think Dana's always been all, Dana's old man style, yelling at the sky, upset at everybody. Rarely wants to see or do anything fun in the octagon. With that being said, when Jose walked out with the crown, awesome to see. Awesome to see. Awesome that the UFC allowed him to do that. It was just tremendous, bro. Jose comes out there, puts on a good fight. First round, caught Jonathan Martinez with some good shots, good jabs, good body work. Second round, Jose starts to really deliver a little bit more body work and do his thing. Third round, what was quality is he rocked Jonathan Martinez, caught him with some body work. Jonathan Martinez was not out though, did not waver, was still in it, and Jose just took the veteran smart route and just took him down to the ground. I was like, look, I'm not getting ready to risk a loss here because Jonathan Martinez is not being faded. Jose Aldo takes him down to the ground. does his thing, controls him for the rest of the round, delivers a few body shots on the ground and a few shots to the head. Maintains side control, almost had full mount. Shout out to Jose Aldo. Shout out to him in his return. He dons the crown after the fight when they award him as the winner. Awesome stuff to see. Definitely made it clear he was not ready to retire yet. So I think it's kind of safe to say that he's back. But that was the last fight on his UFC contract. I don't necessarily see the UFC letting him leave or going anywhere. I believe Jonathan Martinez, I'm not sure. Let me see let me check my notes here, see if I can find out. I just wanted to see if he was ranked. Let's see. I believe Jonathan Martinez is ranked number 12, I believe. So we will see. Definitely, Jose is right there. He's not right there for a title shot as far as what he's accomplished, but he's right there for a title shot due to name value. And I could see Sean O'Malley seeing this Jose Aldo fight with Jonathan Martinez and thinking, I could roll the dice. I could play that game. You know what I'm saying? I could see Sean O'Malley being like, I could roll the dice and step in there with him. I could do my thing. So with that being said, shout out to Jose Aldo. I'm assuming the UFC is going to make him an offer, probably get him a little bit more money, get him a pretty decent deal. Probably, 4 fight type deal. With that being said, I would think the UFC is probably going to throw him out there to have him fight one more fight before they truly entertain a title shot. However, they gave Cheeto a title shot, and he didn't really do a lot to earn that. He won like one fight, and they're like, Cheeto's the guy. So with that being said, I could see a world where Sean O'Malley saw that performance and was like, yeah, I might be able to start Jose Aldo. Nevertheless, bro, shout out to the King of Rio. Jose Aldo makes his return as he defeats Jonathan Martinez. Let's move on. This fight, this fight pissed me off, bro. Pissed me off to the highest level of pistivity. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Smith goes out there and submits via guillotine, Victor Petrino. Bro, the reason why this pissed me off to no level, I don't necessarily mind, Anthony Smith getting the win. Nah, bump that. I do mind. I mind Anthony Smith getting the win. Because Anthony Smith is in the vein of Chris Weidman. You let Anthony Smith get one win. He's already talking about he might be able to go capture some gold after all. He's doing all this, and it's like, bro, Victor Petrino literally just lost all sense, all scruples, all marbles, and pretty much dove headfirst into a ghillie, all right? And Anthony Smith just happened to be the guy there to cinch it up and lock it up. Anybody Victor Petrino would have faced it, he would have dived into their guard, right into a ghillie, he would have lost, all right? Nevertheless, now we got to sit through a couple more months of Anthony Smith going around, on paper, I think I beat Alex Pereira. And it's like, now we got to deal with this. And it's just like, bro, please on paper yourself out of the UFC. Like, I'm tired of doing the Anthony Smith experience. And because of stupid Victor Petrino going out there taking that horrible L, now we got to deal with Anthony Smith longer. And that's what it is. There's a difference between, you don't mind the older vets going out there and getting wins. But when they get wins and they instantly start talking about a title shot when they're so far from it. Because here's the thing, bro. Just got finished talking about Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo versus Sean O'Malley. Of course, you'd lean toward Sean O'Malley, but there's a world where Jose Aldo goes out there and does Jose Aldo things and beats Sean O'Malley, right? There's no world where Anthony Smith is going to go out there and do anything to Alex Pereira. Straight up. Let's just say that. It's not going to happen, bro. It's just not. So I'm tired of doing the Anthony Smith experience. He's the worst guy to win these type of fights because he won't let it go. He'll do the longest victory parade you've ever seen. He'll definitely be on all the MMA shows. As soon as Ariel comes back, he'll be on there. And you just get sick of it, bro. You get sick of Anthony Smith. You get sick of him boosting himself up when clearly Victor dove into a ghillie. And then we got to keep listening to this. Highest level of pistivity when he won that fight. Nevertheless, let's just move on. Anthony Smith wins. How about Michel Pereira going out there and doing Michel Pereira things as he defeats Ihor Potieria? Bro, I don't even care that it was an illegal blow when he did the jumping backflip and landed on dude's head. I don't even care, bro. Landed on Ihor's head. I don't even care, bro. When Michel Pereira fights, you just let it go. All right, fouls are legal. Anything goes with a Michel Pereira fight because you're seeing just a rare beast. You know what I'm saying? Michel Pereira is the guy that if this was Game of Thrones, Michel Pereira is the guy you want in your army because he's going to run up, dive on top of a dragon, ride his back, and then ghillie the dragon. You know what I'm saying? This dude is out of his mind. It was awesome to see. Shout out to Michel Pereira going out there, doing his thing, getting a win in front of the Brazilian fans. Continues his winning streak at middleweight. I just can't wait to see, I should say. Can't wait to see where they put him next. It was awesome to see. Next, we had Paul Craig. Paul Craig goes out there and takes a loss, a horrible loss against Caio Borrello. Caio went out there and got the win. It was great to see because Paul Craig was talking a lot of trash about Caio, and just Paul Craig will rub you the wrong way as well. And then he tried to do his little thing. He walked out in the middle of the octagon and was staring at Caio, and it was like, Paul Craig, we already know what's about to happen here. What should have happened to Anthony Smith. But when you get a real professional like Caio out there, you don't have issues like Victor. Nevertheless, shout out to Caio. He does his thing. He gets another win. You know what I'm saying? He won Performance of the Night with that. Also, I'd like to mention Michel Pereira won Performance of the Night. Shout out to both of these men getting a little bit of extra bread, a little extra money. Shout out to them. Let's move on. How about Joe Anderson Brito goes out there and demolishes the leg of Jack Shore? Honestly, I saw a lot of people upset that they stopped this fight. They felt like they should have let it continue. I don't know. I don't think it really needed to be stopped. I mean, when the doctor puts his whole finger inside of the shin of Jack Shore, I felt like they probably could have stopped it. But if they would have let it go, it wouldn't have bothered me. Nevertheless, shout out to Brito. He goes out there, he gets a win. Yasmin Lucindo goes out there. She beats Carolina Kovacevic. That was pretty cool to see. Orabai goes out there and gets a win over Elvis Brenner. He cut that one close. He barely won that one. Drakkar Klose goes out there and gets the win. Shout out to Mauricio Ruffy for going out there and defeating Jamie Malarkey. Looking outstanding. Had that Conor McGregor kind of swag, kind of striking, similar to Conor's striking. Very interesting to see. All that was cool. Ismael Bonfim goes out there and defeats Vince Pichel. Although I felt like he should have put Pichel away, but nevertheless, Pichel a little bit too tough. And Alexandre Costa goes out there and defeats Kevin Borjas. Nevertheless, man, that was UFC 301. The highlight for me was Jose Aldo making his return to the octagon. That was great to see. Of course, I'm a Pantoja fan, so I'm glad he kept the belt, but yeesh. That was a little bit close. Nevertheless, it was a great card, so to speak. Had a lot of boring moments, but the Jose Aldo thing made up for it. I don't want to hear nothing. Jose Aldo making his return and getting a win made up for it. So, nevertheless, I do want to thank you all for checking out this episode and tuning in. And I do want to thank you for joining me for another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. And I check you next time. Peace.